Hello everybody and welcome back to Solving Standard. I'm Corbin Hostler and this is White-Blue Eternalize. This deck, one of the more fringe decks in Standard, that's for sure. It's not mono-red, it's not Teamer, it's not the Grixis Good Stuff decks, but you know what? It is making a name for itself, mainly because it is just so darn resilient, and that's what you get when you have Adorned Pouncers that can Eternalize for 5 mana, and with Anointed Procession out, bring back a friend. And that's basically the deck. We play Wraths, and we play Eternalize creatures, and that is the plan. Now, look at this. We're just going to jump on in there for 2 here on turn 3. Very powerful Standard deck here. No, but really, this deck is great, and it's top-8'd and open, and it's got something going for it. And we can pitch things into our graveyard for value here. I think I'm just going to go with... I don't want to get censored. I'm just going to play a second Adorned Pouncer here. Why not? I mean, this is a clock. This is 4 damage a turn, for what it's worth, against our blue-black opponent here. Ah, they had the censor, too. We did it. That's much better than getting my Champion of Wits censored. Alright, 1 cat's been Fatal Push, but you know what? That's exactly the point, because that is card disadvantage for our opponent. They Fatal Push this thing, but I tell you what, it's going to come back later. Alright, there's another... Rivulet, whatever you call them. All right, jump on in there for 2. Could he use a Slash or Pounce or whatever? I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and try the Champion of Wits out now. Good news is we can pitch things into our graveyard for value here. Let's see what those cards will be. All right, so here we have access to 7 lands. Certainly don't need that many. I suppose I ditched the farmland and the island so that we have a rivulet if we need it. You know, this could turn into a card later, but this is our 5th land and we need 5. So, in fact, we probably want 5 next turn. Let's see, our opponent just on blue-black, which means, especially if they're this blue-black mid-range type deck, it's the kind of thing I would think that we're good against here. Yeah, sure, they're going to Essence Extract our kitty and undo some of the damage, but this isn't necessarily where our opponent wants to be. We get to start Eternalizing kitties next turn, while our opponent is just kind of floundering here. This is what we want. Our opponent's deck is full of powerful spells, right? Fatal Push, Essence Extraction, very good removal spells, but they're just 1-for-1s, and our deck just grinds that out by making a bunch of tokens and so on. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Also, another a very nice part about doing this is it's an ability. It's not a spell. So our opponent can be sitting on mana over there in counterspells and just not be able to get it. You know, they can obviously remove our creature here, but it's not easy. And it's a 4/4 double striker. And there's a Liliana. And Liliana is pretty good. Well, looks like we should have kept the farmland, but we have a lot of options here. That'll probably be, well, I guess I probably do. I mean, this allows us to Eternalize Champion of Wits, so there is a point to getting to 7. I guess we just go ahead and poke Liliana for 2 here. We'll just make another cat token. Why not, right? This is the most mana efficient thing we can do this turn. If our opponent has a board wipe, I mean, that's not good for us or whatever, but we can Eternalize Champion of Wits after that and draw 4. Meanwhile, our opponent, I mean, this Liliana is very good for them, but they are under the gun because it's just so much pressure. It does so much. All right, let's play our land, and let's go ahead and get on in there at Liliana. Our opponent could also have, I guess Torrential Gearhulk would be the worst thing for us here, but yeah, that's something we'll have to deal with. Wow, it looks like Liliana's just going to bite the dust here. I guess I should go ahead and play the Champion of Wits. This is probably the thing I care least about, so we'll put some things into our graveyard. Sure. Our opponent's Essence Scattering Embalm creatures, I'm in. Or Eternalize creatures, or whatever. I don't know the difference anymore. Eternalize. Alright, our opponent's down to 3 cards in hand. They have a zombie, and now they have a Scarab God, and that is a problem. Scarab God, of course, is scary, but not unbeatable by any means. Let's see here. Do I want to make my own Scarab God? Wouldn't hate it. I also might just want to Eternalize this thing. In fact, I think I do. I'm going to attack with these Adorned Pouncers. And then I'm probably just going to Eternalize my Champion of Wits. That way my opponent can't take it while he's going to trade here anyways. Sure, no problem then, I guess. Okay. I think I'm still probably going to do that. I don't want my opponent to be able to play Scarab God and then take this out of my graveyard. So I may as well just go ahead and do it myself while I can. All right, we'll draw 4 here and discard 2. Whew, that's some good stuff. All right. I don't think we're going to need Fumigate here, and we can throw away a land, I imagine. I mean, maybe I could just throw away 2 lands, but both of these lands probably have some sort of value. I mean, Scarab God comes back, and if our opponent just wants to play it again, it's just going to get Ixalan's Binding, and then our opponent's in a lot of trouble. And that is what's going to happen here. Or at least it's hopefully what's going to happen. Our opponent either has a negate or whatever in hand, or they're basically just dead. And it turns out they're basically just dead. All right, we'll just get on in here with the team. Yeah, Ixalan's Binding is just so good, because in some ways I would have to be worried if our opponent blocked here. Well, I guess if they did that, they'd die. But say blocked, had removal, and then another Scarab God and could immediately reanimate this. But we just don't have to worry about that, because Ixalan's Binding prevents it from being cast again. Just a very, very good card. Now, no need to do anything here as far as committing to the board further, so we'll just play the Anointed Procession out. Alright, so our opponent, I would say, is pretty dead here, because even if they deal with our board, we have the old Hostile Desert to come through, but we just tore through that blue-black deck exactly as this deck is designed to do. Now, what do we want out of the sideboard here? That is the question. Probably a Spell Pierce, some combination of Spell Pierce's Negate, and probably this. Like, more things that, I mean, we don't need Fumigates, so more things that deal with the Scarab Gods, just load up on them, and as far as I'm concerned, that seems fine. And we don't need, probably cut some Sunscourge Champions here. We want to be careful about cutting too many. Let's give this one a shot. Maybe something like this. I think this might be fine. We're just going to go all in on not dying to Scarab God here. I think that's a reasonable plan. We have access to some counter magic. Maybe not quite as much as we would like. I don't know. Maybe this is just a lot. Maybe I'll play this other negate. All right, we'll give this one a shot. I'm not sure. Obviously, I'm not familiar with the deck. I don't know how many of the creatures you can board out. Because at some point, if you just don't draw enough, the whole taxing the removal thing doesn't really work out the way you want it to. So we get a mulligan this one, though. Oh, it's a keeper, I guess. Champion of Wits makes a lot of hands a lot better, so we got that going for us. Kind of awkward on the mana here, but I guess I'll lead with the Riverlet because I would really like to Spell Pierce a Search for Azcanta if it comes down here. It did not. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, sure, we can get away with just playing our planes this time around. Yeah, hopefully we can just grind our opponent out here. They're doing nothing, so that's a thing. And I still don't want to get censored, so I will just pass the turn. They're not putting any pressure on us, and we have Spell Pierce, so there's really no reason to tap out and get censored and then have our opponent resolve, something bad for us. I assume, and also, if we're lucky, we can use the Spell Pierce to catch a Liliana on turn 5. So that's certainly what we're going to try to do here. We'll try to run out the Champion of Wits. Alright, we'll use the ability here. This is a pretty good card. I think we can pitch the Adorned Pouncer and I guess the Hostile Desert. I want to keep the Field of Ruin in case Azcanta comes to call. I would like my opponent to not find Azcanta. this gives us, we still can Eternalize this thing, gives us value in our hand. And hopefully we can just catch a Liliana with this Spell Pierce here. Yeah, look at that. We expertly played around Censor. Wow, just nothing, huh? Okay. Let's go ahead and attack. I mean, next turn our opponent can have Torrential Gearhulk if they're into that sort of thing. We can Ixalan's Binding it out. We can just answer all of our opponent's cards in theory. But yeah, I mean, I guess here's the thing. Let's see if we can go ahead and resolve a Search for Azcanta. Turns out this card's broken, even if your deck is not necessarily built for it. So, and we're not the best Search for Azcanta deck by any means, but it's worth trying. It will be disallowed, though. That's fine, as a matter of fact. Wow, our opponent just hardcore doing nothing, I guess. And they did not have a 6 land, so the hand is all gas. Alright, well, we may as well run the Adorned Pouncer out there. We're keeping up Spell Pierce the whole game, and whether that's good enough or not, that's what we're doing, right? And our opponent might be playing around it to an extent. I mean, we've certainly represented it every turn of the game. It's convenient that it also looks like we're playing around Censor by keeping it up. Vraska's Contempt. Sure. I don't think it's worth trying to save it there. I could Spell Pierce there, and in some ways that's sort of fine. On the other hand, our opponent could untap and play Liliana, and that would be pretty bad for us. So, all right, just going to chart a course here. Whew, those are pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and run out this Sunscourge Champion. Just because it's a threat, and again, it's mana efficient. We're putting some pressure on the board while holding up Spell Pierce. Next time we can start running these Anointed Processions out there. All right, here it comes. It is a Torrential Gearhulk to Vraska's Contempt one of our creatures. Probably the Champion of Wits. Sure. Well, we expected that to an extent. That's fine. We're going to attempt to Ixalan's Binding it. Ixalan's Binding was, wow, we got a lot of Ixalan's Bindings to go around here, actually. Okay. Let's see if we can make it work. Not be surprised to see it get countered, and we may just have to take a hit or two, or block, or maybe we just block, protect our life total. Try to run out of our opponent out of counterspells here. And we've been disallowed. Okay, yeah, I think I'm just going to block. There's no reason to... Basically, the game ends if... I say ends. If we can resolve Ixalan's Binding here on Torrential Gearhulk, we're going to be set. That takes so much pressure, from what our opponent can do. And we can still, at least for now, Spell Pierce a Liliana. But there's no reason to take a bunch of damage here in case several of these get countered. There's Search. That's why we have Field of Ruin, though. We can mitigate that a little bit. Oh, and here we go. We've got Negate to protect this next one. No! I clicked Anointed Procession. No! Wrong one! Oh, too many 4-mana enchantments in my hand. Alright, whatever. Maybe that's good. Maybe it's fine. That's kind of funny. They look kind of similar, I guess. I mean, the frames are similar. This thing costs 4 mana to get back. All right. We will gain life when we do it. All right, well, let's just go ahead and take out this thing as we need to do it. Yeah, we are getting a little beat down here. Found a Liliana, huh? Sure. Well, I suppose there's a few ways we could get blown out here. Our opponent has a lot of cards in hand. We get censored. They've cycled 2 already. You know, the other option is to just Eternalize this thing, discarding something that doesn't matter, like, say, the Angel of Sanctions. And I say it doesn't matter simply because it may be better in our graveyard. That allows us to set up a double block, and we gain a bunch of life. That might be better. And then if our opponent taps out for Liliana, hopefully that means we can Ixalan's Binding something with Negate up. All right, I'm going to give that a shot, I think. I think discarding this is actually what we want. It means we get a second one off of the Annoying Procession when we bring it back. I think this play might actually be better. So, and we get a nice little life cushion here, which is not irrelevant. We have, for the first time, not left up mana. So, I don't know. In some ways, getting that Ixalan Binding countered and then going for the Anointed Procession instead might have hurt us. On the other hand, this isn't exactly a bad position we're in right now. I mean, we have 2 4/4s in play, and if our opponent just plays Liliana, they only have 2 mana open after that, and we can get double Angel of Sanctions to take things out. So I'm going to just go for double block here, though. With the idea that, I mean, these are essentially expendable. And if our opponent spends mana to deal with them, it just is going to tie up their mana and free up what we can do on our turn, because we have plenty of gas. Oh, wow, and you have to work hard on it, too. Okay, absolutely. Our opponent put a lot of work into that and is now completely tapped out. For us to just kind of go to town here with Ixalan's Binding. All right, no more turns for Gearhulks. So threats left to care about here are Liliana and the Scarab God. And we have Negate plus Spell Pierce back up here. I mean, this Spell Pierce is rapidly becoming very, very dead. But in this situation, it was so... Wow, and they just don't want to play that Liliana, huh? Okay. Interesting decision. Yeah, I suppose our opponent knows if they go for it, of course, then... Yeah, I'll just play another Anointed Procession. Why not? And pass the turn. No need to do anything but hold up the Negate and the Spell Pierce here. And I see what our opponent's doing. They want to... they don't want to run anything out and get blown out by the Angel of Sanctions in our graveyard. Maybe waiting until they have Scarab God plus activation. And they're at 9 mana right now, so they're not... That's actually enough, so that must not be what they're doing in that case. That said, we don't really have anything to do. I don't really want to run Angel of Sanctions out there for no value, even though we get 3 of them. Not when we're sitting on this many counterspells. I mean, maybe it's correct, though. Maybe I just want to put on the pressure. But if that's what we're going to do, there's no reason not to get 3 copies next turn. And by that, I mean 4, I suppose. There's another Champion of Wits. That's pretty good as well. I would say the only problem with choosing to do this is that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana, and we lose the ability to hold up Negate. So maybe I don't need to. Maybe I just play the old Champion of Wits here. I mean, our hand's good, but we can probably throw away Spell Pierce at this point. Spell Pierce likely irrelevant. Okay, great, yeah. Not a problem. Not at all. Again, yeah, there's just... I don't see any reason not to be defensive here. Our opponent's going to get forced into going for something here. Because they know that us bringing back that Champion of Wits and drawing a billion cards next turn is going to mess them up. So we will negate the Liliana. Our opponent... Oh, they're just going to let it happen. I was going to say they'll probably fight back, but nope. All right, well, I could tap out for it. You could just play a Sunscourge Champion as well, but no. This game, not turning this one down. 4 Champion of... I guess we could get disallowed. Sure. Not for Champion of Woods. We've been disallowed. But that's fine. It happens. Our opponent has 4 cards in hand. We have tapped out. They have the ability to do whatever they want now. But if they do, we get Ixalan's Binding it. Well, by the way, we also still have those Angel Sanctions in our graveyard. I'm actually going to play this. I want kind of all the mana we can get, to be honest. All right, 1, 5. All right, let's Angel Sanctions here. Costs 6, I believe, to Eternalize, right? Yeah, maybe this is wrong. I don't want to get disallowed. Cancel all that. Undo all this mana tapping. Back it up. I just don't want to take risks, I guess. Maybe our opponent's basically doing nothing. I'm just supposed to slam it, but we get no value out of it. And if it just gets disallowed when we have negate up, that feels pretty bad, right? If we just slow down a little bit. Now we just pass the turn with negate and spell pierce up. Our opponent's down to 3 cards in hand. Getting rid of their search, getting rid of Ascanta for them earlier is pretty rough. And as you can see, that basically did it. There was no need to be greedy there and keep tapping out and get blown out by disallows while all we have is this 1/1, and then our opponent finds Vraska's Contempt or something to just kind of take away all our value, and now we're top decking or whatever, right? There's no need to get into that situation. We do have a little pressure with the Pouncer. It's not a lot, but we can add to it with things like the Sunscourge Champion or whatever, and I couldn't pass up the Champion of Wits value, but that also was a must answer for our opponent. There's just no need to necessarily go that hard, but you see why this deck is good. Blue-Black Control is a great deck. It's been a tier deck since Search for Ascanta came out, and we just ground through it with ease in 2 games there. So that was really great. This deck is solid. I like it, and 3 Anointed Processions in play is pretty good too. Thanks for watching, everyone.